Welcome back to the Pull Up and Shut Up podcast. I'm your host, Tramel S., and this is
Mike Geff in the building. We have a very, very, very special guest on today, the powerful, the beautiful, the amazing Najah Bradley. So start off, tell the people a little bit about yourself. What are you up to?
Well, I am an actor. That's going to be commercial, theatrical, voiceover. I also do print modeling, blah, 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 go on and so forth. But talking about me and not what I do, I'm someone that really likes to, which is why I like this conversation that you all are having. I'm someone that really likes to kind of learn more and explore things and have my own lens and also hopefully widen other people's. Because a lot of times we don't really take the time to step outside of our own perspective to understand humanity and understand that you can have two different opinions and neither of you could be wrong or both of you could be right. You know what I mean? So I love this. I'm excited to see what you guys have cooking up here. I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you for having me.
Of course, as always. So I just, real quick, before we get into the serious stuff, I have to know the name of the cat that just walked in the back. We can't just ignore that. Oh. That's the whole conversation we need to have right now.
That is Nola. I rescued her when I was filming on location in New Orleans. I was there for a little longer than I expected to be, and I was missing my dogs. I have two dogs, two small dogs. And so I went to the local shelter to volunteer to walk the dogs. You know, like, oh, who needs to be walked? Who needs some love? I want to hang out with the animals. And then they had a cat room where it was just cats, and you just go sit in there and you hang out with cats. And I was like, oh my God, that's my vibe.
Yep.
And I never thought I would get a cat unless she met all of the requirements, which was she had to be all black, she had to be female, she had to be at least 6 months old, and she had to be good with dogs. And it was insane. I walked in, there was a black cat there, 6 months old, comfortable with dogs, all black female.
Were your dogs like, what the fuck is this? Or were they like, all right, this is cool?
They were definitely like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
One of them is very relaxed and chill. The other one, not so much.
It's kind sorry. It's kind of funny because I actually got my cat from, I think PetSmart. I was going to get dog food. My fucking cat just died. Damn. His name was Happy.
Damn, that is a very sad story.
It was so fucking sad, dude. So I went to go get my dog, Honey. I'm talking to you about that later. So then I went to go get my dog some fucking food, and this cat, dog, little tiny ass little cat.
It was a cat dog?
No. I went to get food for my dog, and there was this little tiny ass cat, and he just started meowing. And like when I made it to the checkout line to get the food, and I was like, "How much is the fucking cat?" So I fucking take him, bag him up.
Oh shit! My nigga threw 100 at her, said, "Keep the change."
Like, cat. Right? Guess what the name is?
Bag it up. What's up?
Biscuit. Guess what my dog's name is?
Oh.
So Honey, Biscuit, cuz. And now they're like, and they fucking hated each other. So what I did is I put them both in a room together for a week. Yeah. Locked the door. When they came out, the dog thought it was a cat. The cat thought it was a dog. Oh my God. Like the dog just came out licking the fucking cat. It's hilarious.
That is honestly a very dangerous strategy, but I'm super glad that it worked out for you.
Yeah,
that's like the opposite of what they recommend. They're like, do not lock them in the room.
Oh, cats are nuts, dude.
Yeah, nah, they don't. Yeah, don't.
Cats are crazy.
Don't lock me in a room with a cat. Some cats is fucking.
I love my cat, bro. And then the fact that I'm finding out that so many men are allergic to cats, I'm like, well, that works out for me because it just weeds people out.
Now you can get more cats.
There you go. So so off the topic of pussy, we're gonna get on the topic of pussy. So we gotta talk. So we have to. Just to recap.
Actually, hold on. Before we get into this shit, bro. Wait, let's go ahead and take these shots because I think we need to.
You got some shots fired?
Yeah, we got some shots fired. You gonna take one with us?
Already?
That's how we roll.
No, not already to the shots. Already to shots fired. Who fired shots?
Wait,
I haven't even started yet.
The shots are being fired.
We're firing all the shots.
We're loading the cannons.
I thought it had a double meaning. I'm sorry. Ooh, you did not take that well, did you?
He does. He never. I don't.
That was bad.
Yeah.
I wish you could do a do-over, but I don't know if I want to encourage that.
I like smoking. Okay, drinking is a fucking. It's like it's a pandemic for me. Which
means he's gonna get trashed because he's had a couple shots already. So
yeah.
This is gonna be
great. Excuse anything that happens as long as I don't sound like one of them really, really angry rednecks who are like, "Fuck that bitch, I think I'll be okay.
They're fucking
the reason of this fucking animal abuse.
Chemicals in the water that are making the frogs gay.
It's all the women.
But so just to run it back and recap, before the break, we got on the topic of Cardi B and Offset, right? And so, right. But so the reason why we brought up Cardi B and Offset is just because we believe that, or I personally believe that women in this society kind of have to weaponize sexuality if they want to be in the public eye. Because honestly, unless you're some cold cutthroat kind of woman, it's very hard for you to appeal to just the way that America has, our own society, not even just America, has set up women's or the space for women to say that.
Right.
And so I believe that, like when we look at it, we go, Jada Pinkett Smith, from what I saw, she was vilified. Everyone cut her to shreds. Everyone was like, she's a piece of shit. Will deserves better than her. People shared photos of Will with other women, things like that.
But at the same time, there was also memes of Will Smith.
Of Will Smith crying, but that's just because people
don't come to the defense. Let this man finish what he's saying so I can hear both of y'all.
Right. So
love you. It's okay.
So they made pictures of Will Smith crying, but nobody was really like making fun of Will Smith. Nobody was like, Will Smith wasn't putting that dick down, right? Will Smith nobody. Everybody was just kind of like,
yes, they were talking about how what's his name, third party dude.
I guess I'll say.
Wait, Michael. Wait.
Fucking February.
Wait, Michael.
Right. So okay. So that was from one news or one radio personality. But for the most part, from what I saw, most of the men that are just like fucking on the internet, were basically like, this is kind of funny. You know what I mean? They were like, Jada is trash. Jada's fucking garbage. Jada shouldn't have done this. Jada shouldn't have done that. And then when it came out that Cardi B was cheated on by Offset and she files for divorce, then everybody goes, well, fuck Cardi B. Cardi B, that WAP can't keep a man. And so it basically is this double standard, and then it gets into the everybody's like, well, it's because she's a sexual artist and she talks about her sexuality and she's kind of a hoe. And I go, well, that's kind of the only way that people will consume the music. People aren't fucking talking about people like Tierra Whack or Ivy Soul. No, they're not, exactly, because nobody knows who the fuck they are unless exactly. But Cardi B is, and so that should speak for what we pay attention to in the society. So you can't get upset when a woman weaponizes her sexuality, and then you're not paying attention to the women that aren't. That's what I believe.
Okay, now Michael, you get a chance.
So now Michael.
So men fucking suck. All right, that's number one. I'm gonna go out there and say that. I'm not defending the men as a whole, but I'm defending scenarios because I feel like the media and the memes and the attention that all these scenarios are getting are so dividing, and it's literally like men aren't shit and this is why they're not shit, but then women can fucking just bash men, or anybody can bash men, and men don't get it because men aren't supposed to be sensitive. I can be fucking sensitive as fuck to you and you aren't going to listen, but the moment I get mad and angry,
that's fair. Some people are like that. Some people are like that.
I'm going to speak on many occasions that I've personally had,
right.
And I know for a fact I'm going to speak on occasions that I personally have, and I've seen many relationships where women cheat and they stay with this dude. Men treat this woman like fucking amazing, like the queen that she is, and oh, he texts me too much. He's talking to me too much. Oh, but he also actually cares about this other girl. And it's always like something else.
So people are superficial.
Yes. Oh, okay, but that's the point. Take that shit out of these fucking scenarios and let's meet on the same level, because you bash the fucking, because I'm not gonna lie. Personally, I've seen way more Jada Pinkett praising and Will Smith bashing, and same thing for Cardi B being bashed, but also, I mean, that was more mutual. I've seen both sides of that spectrum. But dealing with men, it's like you saw nothing but the crying memes and the fucking he probably should. There was a couple. August Alsina actually fucking.
Well, people made jokes about it, the entanglement part, but I don't think anybody was kind of making jokes.
No, there was fucking songs made, and it's like, bro, there's a bunch of songs made called entanglement.
Oh, well, I mean, yes, but again, that was based off of the way that she was saying it. So look, so just to wrap it up, so we basically have two differing views on that. So I personally think that women will women kind of have to, in music especially, use their sexuality to get any sort of attention. And then I think what Mike is trying to get at, women
are here to do what men cannot do, but they are so focused on doing what men do that they're losing focus on.
Stop.
Talk to me.
Well, no, because now we're going into a different conversation. That's what you're not realizing. When you say too much about one thing, you're gonna mold it and never answer the question.
Right.
Okay, so the question specifically is what?
So our question to you is,
yes.
I will ask you this. In your personal opinion, do you believe that there is a divide as it pertains to men and women?
Okay. Right. Yeah, of course there is. There always has been, there always will be. The thing that we have to understand is that none of us had a choice in how things turned out for men and women, right? None of us had a choice. We did not create the standard. We did not have anything to do with women being considered less. You know what I mean? That goes so far back. We did not have a choice. And once we come to that realization as humans, like, oh, we did not have it, which we're starting to try to do now. We're starting to chip at the top of it, right? We did not have a choice to say, oh, women are only supposed to do this and men are only supposed to do that. It just happened. And then when it happened, society lived on that for eons, forever. They based it on religion. They based it on shape. They based it on capability, all of this stuff. And no one ever had a conversation with a bunch of different men and women to see different perspectives, which is what takes me back to what I said before about how important perspective is. Women absolutely have to weaponize sexuality, but who decided that? Hip hop did. Hip hop decided that way early. But think about it. Who decided what sells in hip hop? Let's talk about the beginning. Let's talk about the start of hip hop. 80s hip hop.
A little bit further back than that, but.
Right. But then what sells? And now you have the big wigs that are in charge that do not look like you or me. They are not female. And they continue to push the same image.
Right.
So because what? That sells. So again, we still did not have a choice. Nicki Minaj, I'm sure, did not have a choice not really. Let's be real about what choice is. Like, sure, you had a choice to say yes or no. But if they're telling you this is the only way for you to achieve what you want to achieve, and you're surrounded by everyone telling you that, what are you going to do?
Right.
Don't sit there and say, you're going to be stronger and mighty, because you don't know, because you've never been in that situation. Mm-hmm. Very few of us have ever been in that situation where we're sitting at a boardroom table and you have 8 different men telling you, look, this is what's going to sell. We're willing to give you this. We can promise you this, but you have to get your ass done. You have to get your boobs done. You have to get your face done, your teeth, all of that. Nicki Minaj was a completely different artist before the hip hop machine took her in and then spit out a pop star.
Correct.
So I love that. With dealing with the hip hop industry, though, don't you feel like making songs like Wet Ass Pussy kind of brings us back to what the industry has put out for us instead of creating a new system? Because I feel like that's what this is becoming. It's like just another addition to the system, and now it's like women are comfortable with it, and it's like, okay, cool, y'all put us here, this is where we're going to be comfortable at, instead of creating that new system in order to make women because I don't want women where on my level. I know women are more fucking powerful. So my point is, do we continue the system that's already been created, or do we focus on a new system?
Well, so for me, go ahead.
So just real quick to chime in, I think it becomes to ask someone to decide between money and feeding their family for the rest of their lives and probably the rest of their children's lives, and being real, to expect someone to side on the ladder is completely asinine.
But once you've already created that ladder, so Cardi B, before this song, whether we fucking like it or not,
that's what she was seen as.
But she was already put on this platform. Can't you alter that image? You can always alter an image.
Okay, so my question to you is, Cardi B was a stripper, right?
Facts.
Cardi B grew up
in a
small child to her deciding to become a stripper to work.
Right.
That is her life experience. That is her whole world has been, whatever her childhood was, whatever her parenting was, whatever her and her sister did, like whatever it was, shaped her to become who she is, right? She went on Love and Hip Hop. That's more of the same environment. Then from Love and Hip Hop, Bodak Yellow blows up, and now she's a megastar.
Right.
And then she continues to put out fire albums and be more of a megastar, and then get a Pepsi deal, and then blah blah blah, so forth and so on. Like, I'm pretty sure she's worth more than Offset in all of them, right?
Yeah,
like
she's worth about 12 million more. So what I want to say is Cardi B on her. This is why I tell you to listen to the music before you judge the person, because you have to listen to the message. You have to listen to behind all the fake pop shit, all the bullshit that you see, all the magazines and
all the colors, all that shit.
But what's real is what that person puts on the track, because if you don't put something real on that track, you're going to leave nothing but you're going to have nothing but stop, because you haven't heard it. So what I'm going to say is,
you haven't heard it?
Listen to her first album.
I have heard it.
Her first album. I
didn't watch Cuties. I heard it. Yeah, I didn't watch Cuties. I heard that.
Yeah, we're not talking about that. So what I want to say is the first song, she goes in, right? Has that whole fucking, she has like a T Grizzly, you know what I'm saying, first day out kind of moment where in there she says they give a bitch two options, strip or to lose.
Yeah.
So she has to fucking go into, literally, like that's the mindset, and that's why you have like when you realize the area that this country has put people like me in, the same area I was born in. Like she said, we don't get to choose that. So I didn't get to choose the fact that I was born in South Central Los Angeles, and for a lot of people there, you kind of really only have a couple of options.
You really do. You don't, and then for her to come out with a record like WAP, like, honestly, I love it. I think it's hilarious. I think it's authentic to her. I think like it's along the lines of what she's been putting out, but at the same time, to his point, I'm also an analytical person. I was a communications major, right? My whole entire degree is communications. Like, every facet of communicating is my shit. I love it. I feed on it. So when I'm listening to her record, fuck the hook, to what she is saying and how she is saying it. It's not always about what actual words she's saying. What is the message underneath the message? Because that's the really cool thing about Black people. Yep. Black people fucking love to hide messages with. We've been doing that since Rosa. Like, I mean, we've been doing that since the Underground Railroad. Like, hiding message within song. That is a power that no one else can. Like, that's magic.
Yeah.
Pure magic.
Yep.
So if Cardi B wants to put out a record called WAP and put out a record called WAP, make a video, go ultra, triple, quadruple, million, platinum, gold, blah, 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 all over the country, all over the world, and get more money for doing something that she loves to do, and also hiding this message because what Cardi B says to women is, bitch, do you. And it doesn't necessarily mean go out there and become a stripper. However you define you, do that shit unapologetically, because don't let no man tell you different. Don't let no woman make you feel no kind of way. Don't let no company decide whether what you're going to do, because she already had to make that decision, right? She didn't have, like I said, she had no choice. But when she did make that sacrifice, she's going to come out with these bangers. She's going to, like, Get Up 10, like all of that stuff where she's talking about, you ain't shit, I'm gonna do me. You know what I mean? Everything about her. She's talking about what's fake on her. She's talking about what's real. She's talking about all of this stuff that women in the past were so afraid to even even have.
Right.
Even authentically be themselves. Cardi B is authentically herself based on how she was grown up, where she came from, what she had to do to make it. She talks about pissy fucking bed sheets in a song.
Yep.
And she talks about now, I'm gonna go buy a crib for my daughter. I want my daughter to win. And Cardi B is not a hoe. She's come out before and said when she got famous, was she 22, 23? And Offset was like the third person she's ever slept with. I think she made a point of that in an interview. She's like, yeah, people think I'm a hoe because I'm a stripper, but they don't realize I was stripping for dollars because I was trying to get XYZ.
Right.
Okay, I do want to bring this in because I know people are going to fucking bring this up.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get this out of the way since we have Cardi B subject going on. So Cardi B allegedly
no, she said
you talking about the stealing from the guy when he was passed out or something?
Yeah, where she drug dude. And look, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna say definitely not gonna say I agree with it because look, I'm not gonna put that out here. Like I feel why you have to because you're fucking kind of on what you were talking about, like this is stuff that you're expected to do as an individual, so it's like you're either gonna make your money or you're not. But at the same time, it's like, why are we doing this for the money? Because, I mean, I'm not on this podcast spreading fucking, probably going to get my ass murked on fucking episode 2 for fucking money. You know what I'm saying? So, like, my point is, like, there is a balance where I feel like men and women, neither are demoralized in any of these situations. And I feel like when you go in at the focus point of, okay, it's our body, we have the opportunity, facts, but why feed into these fucking filthy ass men and give them what they want? We're creating this fucking divide, and I'm not comfortable with it. And like, anytime men speak up about situations, it's like, we don't have, cool, but like, you can't expect somebody to wife you if that's something you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's, again, it doesn't come out.
I'm raising my hand.
One as an individual.
Well, okay, so I think it's one of those things where.
Oh, I got her mad on that one.
Well, okay, yeah. Let her go. Let her, because she gonna say something I can already tell. She got it. Okay, go ahead. Do you think, babe?
I got a few things. First of all, don't tell me you're not gonna wife what you're not gonna wife. Number one, first foremost, you don't even know if that person wants to be wife. The number one question I like to ask people, which they never have an answer for, is do you think the person that you are looking for is looking for you?
Hell no.
Like, let that shit marinate for a minute. Do you think that the person that you are looking for, the perfect woman to you, do you think that that woman is also looking for you? So my thing for men, my biggest issue with men is, because I love men. Like, I'm strictly dickly. I love men.
Right.
But my biggest issue is that men don't want to sit back and consider a few things before speaking their piece, right? Everyone has a voice. Everyone has an opinion. They're like assholes. We said that. We've been saying that forever. But have you ever thought, not you, Michael, just, you know, men in general. I'm not attacking you right now. I don't want to attack you. I love you. But do men ever take a moment, just a moment, to sit back and realize that women from birth, literally from birth, have been conditioned to become a mother, a caregiver, a wife, a support? Literally. We are given baby dolls at 3 years old. Like, you are taught at an extremely early age as a woman that you are here to raise children and be there for a man. You need to become a mother to a man, because once he leaves his mother, he needs a new replacement. And that's facts. If you really look at it, if you really break it down with the things that they tell you, when you're a young man, you can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be a CEO. When you're a woman, oh, what do you want to do? A teacher? Do you want to be a nurse? Do you think you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Oh my God, do you want to be a stay-at-home mom? So my thing is, don't ever, 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 like, you're going to offend me every single time you tell me what you do and don't want a wife, when you haven't taken into consideration that whatever age I am, I'm almost 30. I'm going to be 30 in a month. So that's why I can speak this, because I've experienced it for 30 years.
That black don't crack.
But
go ahead.
Thanks, boo. But all that to say, you have no idea. You as men have no idea what women have had to go through and see. Because not only are you being told that you have to be one of these things, you also need to look this way. You need to behave this way. You need to be careful because men are going to attack you if you're not. They don't teach you not to attack women. They don't. That's rape culture right there. They do not ever blame the rapist first. It's always, oh, what were you wearing? Oh, were you out by yourself? Did you have too much to drink?
Why were you there?
Boys will be boys. If you
boys will be boys. Do you realize that as of 2019, we are just now talking about how that's not right? I literally picked my condo where I bought this place, and I picked it based on whether or not I felt safe walking my dogs at midnight.
You know,
and that's something you don't have to think about.
Stop right there. I want you to really, I want you to not, like, I want you to really listen to that. You will never know what that's like. You and I never really know what that's like.
There was a study shown, and it said if men were never to exist, like if men were not existent for one day, what would you do as a woman? And like
probably be more successful.
Women said they would take a walk, and it just kind of shows that, like, you simply can't fucking take a walk. Then how are you supposed to really create your image? Because if you create it the way you want it to be created, then I mean it's kind of.
I can't go to Europe and backpack by myself.
Right.
I can't go travel the world solo. I can't.
Yep.
I can't. I was born with this and unable to do that simply because I was born the way that I look and with my sex.
Yep.
So that in and of itself gives you the advantage in every facet. And that is why I say women are stronger than men. Not because it's about who is smarter or who's more capable. It's simply the fact that we have to deal with shit that we don't even realize we're dealing with until we're 30.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even realize it. We just now, which I'm so excited about, we just now got to this cis culture of like women loving other women. We didn't have that when I was in school.
Oh yeah.
It was me against you for everything.
And that's one
not realizing we're stronger as one. Sis, what you look good, girl. Compliments. I care more about a compliment from a woman than a man any day.
Right.
Facts.
Any day.
Right.
Period.
From a man, from a woman, honest. From a man, it's coming from a more so.
It's a because you're trying to get something.
Yeah.
Right. But that's also why you like it from a gay man as well, because it's coming from a sincere place of I took the time out of what I'm doing to stop and tell you that you look nice.
Right.
Or that outfit is great, or that those shoes are fabulous. Like, and it's those time. And when you really step back and realize how something that simple that takes no energy from the giver can really just create this entire space of bubbliness in another person.
Yep.
It's magical. It is magical. So if we take the time and stop fighting with each other and picking and nitpicking and playing victim and playing who has it worse. First of all, we all know the Black woman is the least loved in America, period. Period.
It's personality right there.
I'm
glad.
Period.
Yep.
Point blank, end of story. Black women are all the way the fuck down here and everybody else is up here.
All their products are more expensive. The way they're treated is like shit.
Which just speaks volumes to the way that Black women have navigated the educational system and the corporate world and have on top.
And that is why I say women are stronger.
Right. And that's something
of all of that.
Right. And so you pointed out something that I really wanted to kind of point
unpack
out, is that women there you go, look and
unpack
and shout out to the shirt, the women don't owe you shit.
This is my favorite shirt in my closet.
Women don't owe it to you to be something that you're not. Well, listen, I want you to just really think about that. Women don't owe it to you to be something that you're not. That you're not. That's deeper, right?
So that's why I responded when you said that. That is why I kind of cringed up and started talking. Continue. Right. Sorry.
So something that you pointed out was that something that has changed within the past couple years has been the way that women have kind of just helped other women. And I don't know. I'm not a woman, so I can't necessarily say when it started, but I will say that I have noticed a difference in the way that Hollywood has been making movies. And you might have been seeing it too as an actor, is that you kind of look and you see that the stereotype of the mean girl is kind of disintegrating in mass media. And now you have women and especially cheerleader groups. I watched a cheerleader movie the other day. Shout out to whatever cheerleader movie that was.
I thought you were gonna tell me. I was like, okay, let me write it down.
I don't even remember what it was. I remember they were on a bus scene, and one of the girls bumped into a cheerleader, and I expect her to go, "Watch yourself, bitch! Don't you fucking," and destroy her the entire movie. But she went, "No, it's totally okay. Hey, are you all right?" And she worked with her, and that was something that I didn't even realize that I had never really seen in a movie before.
Yep.
Is that is the simple and that right there shows you how our ideas of groups of people is molded by social or by just
media.
the media.
By media, multimedia.
Right. And so social media makes it way worse because now everyone has a voice. So instead of seeing one representative represent an entire group, you're seeing a bunch of little representatives who think they represent an entire group. Sometimes they just represent a topic.
And they simply do not.
And they do not know, and no one ever pays attention to who actually makes these fucking, like, the sources that they put out. Anyone can create it. Everyone just wants to look at the person who posted it, but actually go back and look at the person that's created, just like a lot of the people funding a lot of these operations. It's like, don't just look at the operation itself and who's the fucking puppet. Pay attention and look who's funding these projects. Pay attention to who's funding these women bashing ass projects and these mean girls and these focuses on changing.
Listen. The reason why so this is why when women say men suck, this is what they mean. Okay, so this is just one facet that this is one facet that I'm gonna go deep into. Okay, or a little deep into. So when we get into Hollywood, okay, when we look at the ideal woman in Hollywood, is usually someone that men want.
Blonde hair, blue eye, tall.
Listen, just not even that, because we still have Halle Berry. Praise God. Shout out to Halle Berry. So when you look and you see, they're very slim, as she said, what to wear, what to be shaped like, even though not 90% of what you're shaped like is your fucking genes. Okay, what you're like, what you sound like, how you talk, what you say when you talk, being heard or knowing when to be heard or knowing when to speak, that type of shit, right? So when you go into Hollywood, the women, they're based off of what the men like, right? So you would think on the converse side or on the inverse side that the man would be based off of what women like, right? Wrong. It's not. The way that Hugh Jackman looks in the Wolverine is not what most women want. They don't want some fucking burly fucking.
Yeah, he looks like he hasn't showered in weeks. I don't want that in my house.
Veins popping out of their necks. You know who wants.
Your hair looks terrible. I don't want that.
You know who wants to see that? Men. All the men want it. Men sit there and they go, and they
I want to be a dirty dude.
Right? No, they go. I want to be Wolverine. I want to be.
Wolverine. Yep.
Claws. Nobody can fuck with me. And
no job, riding a pickup truck, killing people.
Exactly.
So on and so forth. Bar fights, being the tough guy, no intelligence. That's not what we want.
Right. Exactly.
That's not what we want.
And when you look at what a lot of women want, big dad body motherfuckers. Dad body, nice, secure, stable men who listen. That right there. Who listen.
It's okay, Michael. You'll get better at it.
And so that's something that I think is evident. Okay, the fact that men, we decide, we're the tastemakers of all of that shit. What we buy is what influences it. That's the pink tax that the person was talking about, which we'll get into.
I did want to bring that up.
We're gonna get.
Did y'all know about the pink tax?
Oh yeah, we know all about the pink tax.
No, I mean, did you know about it before this person brought it up?
Yes.
I didn't. I personally didn't.
I was aware of it.
I mean, okay, so I did know that.
You don't have to defend yourself, Mike. It was a yes or no.
I didn't know that there was a name to it, but obviously, since there's a fucking name to it, it's a fucking problem. But I didn't know that it actually had this big ass gap and that there was a name to it. Yeah. I just knew. Okay.
Do you know that sanitary products are considered a luxury item?
Yep. Yeah, and fucking tampons should be fucking free.
Yep.
But what's the erectile dysfunction pill?
Fucking free. What am I fucking in jail for?
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. We didn't catch that. What did you say?
The erectile dysfunction pill. What is it?
Viagra.
Oh, my.
Right.
Cialis. Is that one of them?
Yeah, both of those.
One of them.
They're not necessarily luxury the way that sanitary products are.
Not at all.
Sanitary products are considered a luxury commodity.
Yes.
As if I choose to bleed. You know what I mean? As if I choose this curse that men have given it. I don't, again, and we go back to choice with that. I don't have a choice. All of my choices are being made for me before I'm even thought into existence, before my mother and my grandmother and my great-grand further and further back are even thought into existence. Everything has already been decided for them. Yep. You are going this way. You are to do this. You are to do that. And then once we do something, when we're no longer needed, when there's men, when they're men, they think back to, what was it? Was it World War I or II or both, probably, where women took up these jobs that normally they wouldn't.
Yeah, well, yeah, they did it.
And then when the men came back, it was like, oh, okay, we don't need you anymore. And then you go back to women being called computers because women were supposed to, you know, crunch the numbers and things like that. Before a computer, it was women were computers.
Right.
And then as soon as it became this desirable skill, big wig men got computers, and they were the ones. You know what I mean? So women have always been tossed to the side, always. And then we've always been put against each other. Because if you think about the civil rights movement came around the same time as the feminist movement, and Black women had to make a choice. Black women had to make a choice whether or not they would support the civil rights movement or the feminist movement, because you couldn't do both. And what did women decide to do? Black women decided to support Black men and Black culture and Blackness before themselves. Right. Because white women and Black women had the same issues. Sure, Black women had it worse because they were Black, but if you actually break down,
well, just to give a little context to what she said before, because I know that people are going to try to take that in, but there were quotes from Margaret Thatcher where she was opposed to civil rights. She was opposed, and she was the leader of the feminist movement, and is still kind of seen as a cultural icon. So when she says that Black women had to make a choice back then, you couldn't be both, she's absolutely correct.
I mean, that kind of just happened in a scenario like literally a month ago with fucking Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion. She literally got shot by this dude, and she literally took herself out of the situation and said, Black men are being fucking killed on our TVs and all our social medias, so I should probably chill the fuck out and not put this dude all over.
Right.
And it kind of just shows it's like, it still happens. It's still fucking happening. Women are still fucking defending men.
The fact that she got shot and was expected to be the calm one, and yet still had people make jokes, memes, all that shit about her.
I still have no idea what happened with that situation. I'm not gonna lie.
So just to get into it, because we can make. Hold on, wait before this. So to get into it, basically Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion, one of Megan Thee Stallion's friends and one of Tory Lanez's friends were in the car. From what Megan Thee Stallion says, she said that she was like there was an argument that occurred in the car, and she got out of the wait, hold on. Okay, so there's a story where she was in the car with Tory Lanez's friend, one of her friends, and there was an argument that occurred. She got out of the car, and she said that that they were still kind of an argument, and all she heard was a gunshot, and she looked down and she was bleeding. And then immediately after that, everyone heard that Megan Thee Stallion got shot. She said that after she got shot, she didn't want to call the police, so she wasn't like, yo, like, you know, I was shot, come help me. She just tried to play it off. She was like, I think I'm good, because she wanted to protect Tory Lanez, because she was tired of fucking seeing Black men get shot by the police, knowing that he had a gun, knowing that he was drunk and belligerent. She decided to protect him in that situation by not telling the police. And then even after the situation happened and everyone made the jokes, she still kept her silence until it seemed that his camp and all of his friends were making jokes about her, and Tory Lanez wasn't speaking up for her when she had protected him in the past. Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the typical story, though. Black women always come to the defense of Black men, and then they don't return the favor. And that is the divide in the Black community. I mean, that we have all the divides in the Black community: Black women, Black versus Black men, light skin versus dark skin, curly hair versus coarse hair. Like, there are all these issues.
Have you seen 13 on Netflix?
Of course I did. I saw it when it came out. That was a while ago, though.
Literally explains the whole fucking scenario.
Yep, I told you.
I watched this like 3 years ago, bro.
Oh, did you?
Hell yeah,
I feel like we talked about it recently.
We did.
Okay.
I just love how it kind of just breaks it down, and like, you can't really tell me how Black people should act and how Black women or whatever should act, because when they're literally put in the system and then they're lucky enough to make it out of jail, then they're literally put in this world that they don't know what the fuck happened, and now it's all changed, and now this divide is like it's even bigger divide when you come out of jail. It's like you literally get more comfortable being in these jails.
Not even just that, but like I said earlier, I didn't choose to come from South Central Los Angeles, and the only reason why I didn't turn into another statistic from that area, because I sure as shit wanted to fucking gangbang. I wanted to do all that shit. But the reason why is because my mom fucking moved out of there. If my mom didn't have the sense to move out of there, if a black woman didn't have the sense to leave that area, I more than likely would have fallen right into that lifestyle, have a criminal record, fucking doing all that.
It's funny you say that, because my philosophy on the world is that if you really like boil it all down, it all comes down to parenting.
It does.
It all comes down to parenting.
Yep.
Every single facet of the world's issues and problems and wars and blah, blah, blah comes down to parenting, period.
Yeah. You think
parents are hypocrites.
Absolutely. Not even that. It's the simple fact that if you really consider that once we become a certain age, either we're having children too young, or we're having children when mentally we're just inept, right? So, and they're similar, but they're different in their own ways. But it's like you have parents that are really doing their, like, I mean, and of course there are outliers. I'm going to say there are outliers, because you can have parents that do everything in their power to do everything right, and the child still strays. But think about it, ultra rich parents are never there for their kids, right?
Right. Traditionally,
stereotypically, whatever you want to call it, they're not there for their kids. The rich, the ultra rich. They're like, oh, nannies, boarding schools, summer camps. You are never actually in a space where it is parenting coming from my two parents who I see every day, who I have connected with from coming out of the womb, right? And then you have ultra poor parents that, let's say the child had a child, right? Let's say it's a very young, and that can be white, black, Hispanic, whatever. It don't even have to do with race at this point. It's the simple idea that a child cannot have a child and raise that child to be a productive citizen, because that child never had a chance to grow up to be a productive citizen. How are you going to teach something if you don't have the tools yourself?
Exactly.
Right? Like my sister is a 3rd grade teacher, and this year, of course, everyone had to do virtual learning, and 2nd grade.
Shout out to
second grade teacher. Shout out to our teachers. She is a 2nd grade teacher, and she has students in her virtual class, 3 of them with parents in 11th grade. So they are also in the virtual class to the sister school of high school. How the hell is that child going to raise that kid to become a productive citizen of society? And then on top of that, okay, cool. Grandma's raising the kids. Grandpa's raising the kids. When was the last time grandma and grandpa were truly connected with what's going on in society? We talk about boomers all the time, right? We make fun of boomers. Oh, y'all don't get it. Like, y'all ruined the economy for us. Social Security is not a real thing for us. Climate change is real. Y'all are so stubborn, blah, blah, blah. Right? We have our issues too. Millennials, Gen Z, all of us have our issues of just stubbornness, but the boomers are very different because they did not grow up with the technologies and the things that we grew up in. They do not understand that every second of every day, even in your sleep, someone from society is speaking to you.
Right.
Some sort of anxiety is happening to you. They grew up in a time where mental health wasn't a real thing.
Right.
So how the hell is grandma, grandpa, great-grandpa going to raise this child who is 3 to 6 to 8 years old while also raising the parent to the child to become a productive member of society?
Right.
And I say ultra rich and ultra poor because we like to think there's this huge divide, but there's not. They're both lacking. Sure, one has more, but they're still not learning how to sufficiently be productive.
Right.
And that, if you think about it, those kids are the ones that end up in power. And these kids are the ones that end up struggling because they don't know shit about credit. And they don't know how to do taxes. And they don't understand the difference between becoming an employee or becoming an entrepreneur or becoming a boss or a CEO. They have no idea how to do it.
Literacy.
Yeah,
and it's not their fault. They didn't have a choice.
Foreign to those, it seems foreign in that area, and so
it's foreign. It's Chinese.
So that's to kind of sum it up. That's what I wanted to get to, is that it's for a lot of people, their lives are already decided before they're even born.
Before they're even thought of.
And
before
then,
they're even thought of.
Then when they are born, a lot of their life choices are already made for them before they do. So, and as you said, it does come down to parenting. But another part of it is that sometimes kids don't do what the parents say. And that's another thing that a lot of parents don't really acknowledge, is that it's not what they say, it's what they do. That's what the kids follow. And so that's one of those nurture versus nature kind of things, because when you ask someone to change their nature, to change a child, you're kind of asking them to change their nature. So I think when we get into Cardi B drugging people, and Cardi B stealing money from men, and people robbing people, people shooting people robbing stores and shit like that, a lot of those people had their choices already made up for them before they were even thought of. And then some people, when they got their sex chromosomes, their life took a completely different turn. Their life was decided for them. And when you come out in one of those areas and you become a product of that environment, you can never blame that person. All you can do is hope that they'll be a better person. And is she still doing that? No, she's a mom. She is a child. She was married. Now she filed for divorce. It's a very responsible thing to do. That is a very, very, very mature thing to do, to understand.
And it's difficult.
It's
extremely difficult.
Exactly.
Divorce, abortion, all of these things are so difficult. And no one takes the moment to consider what this woman had to decide. It's just, in your mind, it's, oh, she's this or that because she decided to do that. First of all, you don't know anything about anything. Let's be real. Even with celebrities, you have no idea how much of whatever story is true, completely made up, or any of that. You have no clue.
So for all those inspiring women, all those passionate queens out there, all those princesses becoming queens, all those little ones out there, what's some words of like a constructive criticism, or words of enlightenment that you would give?
Do you, bitch? Do you? What do you think? That's just me. But
what's yours? What's yours?
I would honestly, like, my biggest, huge thing that women forget to do because we're programmed not to, is take time for yourself to figure out exactly what it is that you want in every single category. I can tell you right here, every woman in the world has slept with a man that she didn't actually want to sleep with.
Would you say that it's more so women have, and this is me.
Don't worry, I won't jump on you.
For the male population, are women forced to demoralize themselves for the man?
Almost, yeah, absolutely.
So absolutely.
Women, okay, if you consider it, like, listen, like, remember earlier when I was saying, like, men, it's difficult for you to step outside of yourself and put yourself in the perspective of a woman, right? So consider that any woman you've ever been with or almost been with or anything has been in a terrible situation. Just assume, or even like mildly uncomfortable, right? It could be terrible, it could be mildly uncomfortable, or it could be like, because the thing is, a woman in the middle of, let's say things are getting hot and heavy. A woman could, in that moment, feel discomfort and not want to do it.
Yep.
But like if she stops you in the middle of what you're trying to do, it's a problem.
And it might.
So in that moment, she has to consider, okay, is this an environment where I can stop? Right? That's why all of this Instagram stuff is going around and saying, like, no means no, and okay, sure does not mean yes, right? Because then you have to, like, you're supposed to be able to not read her mind, but read her body language and her cues and her temperament to say, does she feel comfortable right now? And it could be nothing that you did, right? It could be a trigger moment. You have no clue. But the problem is, so many women have been taught that they need to do what the man wants to do, or are you safe enough in this environment to say no, that they shy away and they're just like, okay, fine, let's do it. And it's uncomfortable, but they do it and then they go home. Right. And maybe they still talk to you the next day. Maybe y'all end up in a relationship. That's not the point. The fact of the matter is, women are just now coming to realize that they have been in these situations where they didn't want to sleep with that person, or they didn't want to stay at that party, or they didn't want to be drinking with this person. It could be anything, sexual or non. But the problem is, Black women specifically, are so unprotected in this society that we literally have to, we have to think every possible scenario through before we can even speak it. And that is where the whole thing of like women are crazy or they're so hard to understand. It's like, you don't understand. We're running 15 different scenarios in our mind of what if at all times. So that whole, like the jokes of like, oh, I actually saw something on Instagram during our break and it was like, men fall asleep so quick. What's y'all's secret? And the response is, we don't make up 16 scenarios that give us anxiety in the middle of the night. It's funny. It's a joke, right? It's kind of hilarious, but at the same time, if you really think of the deepness of it, that's facts. That is facts. We have way more to think about and way more to have anxiety about than men in general, despite color, creed, whatever.
Right.
And then all I'm ever asking a man to do is to step outside of himself and consider the unknown. Consider that you don't know what this woman has been through or whatever she's not divulging, because women are not going to tell you. Absolutely not. Ever going to tell you. Because sometimes they don't even know what happened.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a fight within themselves. Sometimes it's, well, I did want to be here. Well, I really do like him.
Assault victims to come out and come forward is because it's a lot of it is the way that it's all, you know, like they're from childhood, they're told, oh, well, did you do this or did you do this or was there anything that you could have caused it? Well, you should have been thinking, well, you should have been.
Yeah.
And then they have this internal war with themselves where they go, well, no, this still shouldn't happen. Like this shouldn't happen to any of my friends. It shouldn't happen to any of my children. But it happened to me, and I'm just kind of, I have to be okay with it. And I think that's, you know, again, that's something that we as men will just never
you will never understand. And that's the whole difference. It's like, you don't have to understand it. It's just like lifestyle choices, right? Parents that have gay children, you don't have to understand it.
Right.
You just have to step outside of yourself and consider what this person may go through. To be a gay person today, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30, that's not fucking easy. Right? Like, and then we talk, and then today, and I have to check myself sometimes when I'm like, when I see that someone all of a sudden, to me, right, in my vision of this person is all of a sudden gay. They're all of a sudden with a person. I don't know shit about what this person has come to figure out about themselves. I have no clue. How dare I have an opinion on the lifestyle that they choose or the partner that they choose when they've probably just come to know themselves.
Right.
Like if I'm talking about the fact that I know that I'm hetero cis, you know, and coming and figuring out all that I'm figuring out and understanding how important balance is to me and gratefulness and these things that I came to discover in my late 20s. Who the hell am I to say that you didn't discover some shit about it? You know, I've never been comfortable with a man. You know what I mean? Or I've never been comfortable with a woman.
Yeah.
I think I was just doing it because I was supposed to. Because again, we go back to those choices that we didn't have.
Right.
And then you have to applaud those people that come out so early and at such a young age, because that is powerful. I'm sorry, what? You knew that from jump, despite everybody telling you everything that you're supposed to do? That's wild. Like, I commend you.
Yep.
I commend you. And I think that's why, that's part of the reason. And I think it's so deeply ingrained that women and gay men have that, like, and you know, Hollywood took it and was like, have a gay best friend. You need to have a gay best friend, whatever. I think it's so deeply ingrained that you could figure some shit like that out at 5 or 10 or whatever. Mm-hmm. We need to be on the same team. Like, I need to hang out with you.
Yep.
And it's like, that's something that I'm going to come to a conclusion in having a conversation like this, right?
Yep.
It's beautiful. It's insane. It's like, voila. It's literally like, yeah. Like,
so,
wow.
I want to touch on, y'all were speaking on the more so of the signs and, oh, this happened, that happened. Oh, what were you wearing? Why were you there? I'm not going to go too in depth.
I know, because we got to wrap it up.
Experience. That's a better way of filtering this out. Going through my own experience, I was asked why I was in that location as a 25-year-old man. If I'm older than when I met this person, well, this person groomed me as an individual. And why I see a lot so blunt and not the way that many men see it, but I might say stuff from a certain standpoint is because I feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I know, like I feel the fucked up, like,
right.
You give somebody I see you as a father figure. I see you as a great person to be around, and now you just see me as a boy toy, as a fucking
something to use, right?
Something to use. You've literally thought of this,
right?
So it's like one thing I kind of wanted to put out there is, if you fucking are told a story, don't sit there and fucking disarm this person for bringing it up to you,
right?
Because one, you don't know what the fuck it took. Two, you don't know what the fuck it's gonna take, because actually dragging it out to where it might, if they're lucky, get to, physically almost doesn't get to. And then three, they have to fucking sit in court and look at the person who fucking sexually fucking traumatized them and tell everybody, including the world and your fucking social media and your media presence, that this person attacked me.
Right. And that right there is not even to mention what's called the backlog, where there's so many. There's thousands upon hundreds of thousands upon millions of fucking untested rape kits that probably will never be tested.
Yep.
Oh, never, absolutely not. They are lost in the ether forever. People will never get justice.
When you finally do come out and you finally do talk about it, you're discredited and torn down.
Oh, absolutely, and your life is destroyed.
So we'll definitely at some point we'll like, because we're gonna have to wrap this one up, because we can go all day and all
we
night.
Can go all day.
So we're gonna let Najah get back to bed, you know what I mean, because it's running pretty late, you know, she got to get her beauty rest. I feel you.
I'm a night owl, but I do appreciate you looking out for my my rhythms.
I feel you. So just so everybody here can go and find you, where can we see more of you at?
Oh yeah, check me out on Instagram, Najah Bradley. That's NAJAHBRADLEY, because I'm just simple like that. Use my name. Y'all follow me on Instagram. I like to do stories more than I like to post, and it's usually a little funny, a little bit of plant humor, pet humor. Sarcasm is my second language, so y'all come and hang out with me. And I'll be back on this show too.
It gets pretty political in her DMs as well, so don't fucking do it.
Oh yeah,
it's don't jump in them DMs, boy.
Yeah, man. When you get the black woman, it's gonna be political, man. That's just that's their life. That's life, baby. When you dealing with it, that's how it is.
Yeah. So, Queen, thank you so much for joining us. You've been fucking a pleasure. You're fucking amazing. We love you.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm glad I could do it.
Yeah. So y'all go follow her. And we just want to go ahead and give a shout out to all of our sponsors. We want to give a shout out to Art Media for producing for us, as well as Studio 24. You can find us all at the Pull Up or Shut Up podcast on Facebook.
Pull Up or Shut Up show on Facebook. See, that's why I said we needed to make a Pull Up or Shut Up podcast, because we're going to do this about 100 couple times.
No, it says
it's at Pull Up or Shut Up show
on Facebook.
You can find this guy not on Facebook because he got canceled.
I got for
3. Mark.
Oh my God, we got to talk about that. What?
Yeah, and I'm still hot. I
can tell.
I got banned because I said men are trash. Oh, I'm so hot. That's why we started this whole conversation, because I got banned for saying that, and my other two were because I said coronavirus is a fat nasty bitch, and I didn't know that was, you can't do that. It's a disease, bro. Like,
hey, yo, if we get banned for this, I'm proud that it happened.
You can say fuck cancer, bro.
Corona is a fat, nasty, smelling ass bitch who took me off the motherfucking schedule with a trifling, ugly ass, smelling ass, big fat bitch.
I'm gonna beat the
fuck. Well, you know it's all a game. And 45 can say whatever the fuck he wants, and nobody else can. So,
right.
But that's neither that's another conversation.
Pull up or
Woo! Cheers.
Big.
Oh, the indignant prince.
I usually say the indignant prince, so I just don't say it. I just point at him and do it.
I don't like people follow me, so I got like the hardest name that I could find. I was like, let me just get something.
So follow him.
Yeah, y'all have and everybody have a blessed night, and we will see y'all next week. Thank y'all.
You good? You ain't gotta go nowhere.